Bow Wow, I want to talk to you for a second. A lot of you young men in here, you like what Bow Wow represents because he's talented, but a lot of you all's attraction to these artists is the money and the fame. But you're not going to hold on to that money very long if you ain't got no sense.
That's right.
I mean, I'm sure you all heard the stories about MC Hammer going broke, millions of dollars, Red Fox. Some and basketball players. Did you see the 30 on 30? Tell me what do you notice about that 30 on 30?
Once again, it's just misguidance. You know, it's a lack of, it even goes back to what you said about how important it is with knowledge. It's just important. You got to know how to count. You know, in this business that I'm in, if you don't know how to count, if you don't know how to read a contract, if you don't know how to break down splits when you do a record, see a lot of cats just listen to a record like it's a hobby record. You know, but really don't understand that it's splits that are involved. If you don't know percentages of this person gets this amount of it, you can get ripped off easy. So these are things that you gotta, and it all starts right now in the school, in the classroom. I know a lot of y'all hear it all the time. Reading is fundamental. Learn. But the basics will get you further in life once you get to the tough part. And when you get here, it is tough. But like I said, positivity is the key. And it goes back to my man right here when he couldn't answer the question. The number one thing why it's important to get back, like he said, because when we get the knowledge, that's when we're gonna make the world go round. We're gonna make it a better place when everybody receives the knowledge. So when it's time to give back, it's important because you gotta pave the way for that next young man or that next young girl to lead to. You know what I mean? So once you're in a position to lead, it's only right that you go ahead and set up everybody up to lead. So I had to bring it up for my man because I saw him try.
No, and I appreciate that. I want to ask you some more about what's going on with the artists because artists have a lot of influence. What is the image versus the reality of what's going on in business?
It's a lot of fake balling that goes on in this industry that I'm in. Y'all know I know, so I look at it like this, and I'm going to give him a quick hint. And I think a guy like a Puff, for example, because I was just with him at Howard University when he received his doctorate. And I felt like that was very important, only for a moment for black men out there for him to do that, but just for hip-hop in general, just to shed some positive light on it. But I mean, it's so raw. You know, this business is so raw, and you gotta know. If you don't know, like you said, you look at him, you look at all these and they take advantage of us as well because we come from the inner city and they feel like we don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? So when we get up here to this level, they still feel like we don't know nothing. And they will sit in these offices with y'all and they'll play y'all like a chessboard game, no lie. So you gotta know, it's very important to know your skill, whatever in life it is that you're trying to do. Know your skill, know it. You gotta know you gotta know what up and down. And it is unfortunate that we go through this because we need more people out here at these type of summits to let the world know what it is that they have to face once they get to that point. And that's the one thing that we lack. We get on, like you said, we get our money, we do what we do, but you don't see a lot of artists come to Columbia and come holler at the people and come touch the people. You know what I mean? You don't see a lot of people come to churches and speak on Easter Sundays or just on special days and talk to the community. And we gotta do better. And that's why I'm here. You know what I mean? I'm here because y'all my people. Y'all tune in to watch me every day at 6 to 7 o'clock on BNT. But I want to let y'all know I'm reachable. I'm not one of them celebrities that's far at reach. And that's why I'm here today to show y'all that I care and how important this is because I want to see y'all win. We all want to see y'all win. You know what I mean? We all want to see y'all make it in life. Support your families, feed your sisters, feed your brothers. And I know y'all want to be successful, right?
Yes, sir.
Y'all want to be successful, right?
Yes, sir.
For the young men, brothers right there, the guy in the gray and your boy standing next to you, get him a microphone real quick. What you looking over there for? I'm talking to you and your boy, man. Yeah. Let me holler at you for a second. Let me show you something that's interesting about us. We all want to get paid, but watch this. How you doing, man?
Fine.
What's your name?
Charles Valley.
What's your partner's name?
Tyler River.
All right, you all got 2 chances to get this question right. I got $1 million. I want to give it to you. What you gonna do with it?
Be honest, too.
Me personally, I would try to put some in the bank for me.
And next. That's less than half a percentage point of interest, man.
That's
Continue.
right. That's right.
See, my point. Y'all can go sit down now. I knew it wouldn't take long. Sit down. Sit down. Why are you worried about money when you don't know what to do with it when you get it?
That's right. That's the point.
See, this is what I'm saying about getting ahead of the game. I never plan a year or 2 in advance. I'm looking 3 and 5 years. They're planning 10, 15 years. We think so small. Have you been outside of Columbia? Have you been outside the country? We got to travel our kids.
That's right.
You got to travel. The world is bigger than South Carolina. The world is bigger than the U.S. Where have you been?
All over.
Talk to men. Could you please share your experience overseas and talk to us about broadening our young people's minds.
It's definitely important because, you know, it's a part of our culture. You know, God wouldn't put all these things on the earth if it wasn't for us to use and utilize. You know what I mean? I've been all over the place, and the world is a beautiful place. You got to see different countries. You got to, like I said, it's a cultural thing. I've been to Africa. We've been to Ghana. We've been to Angola. We've been to, you know, countries where there are no KFC. There is no McDonald's. It's none of that. You know what I mean? Then you go to London and you go to certain places. I don't even speak English. You know what I mean? And for the fellas, you know, because like you said, the women here, it's just a different. It'll just put a twist on your brain. It'll just open up a lot. For instance, I sit in the car with my friends all the time, and we'll make jokes. And they're like, "Well, Bao, you boring. Bao, you boring. You don't want to go out. You don't want to do nothing." And I'm like, well, when you see the world, you understand that the stuff that we're doing here or wherever I live at, it's just not the same when you see just different races and you see different ways of how they live and different food types. It's very important for us to see it. Like I said, these things that you read about in the social studies books, don't just keep it in the book. Go see it. You know, you're not reading about it for no reason. You're reading about it because it's really here. And it's up to us and it's for y'all to go see. I feel like everybody deserves a chance to see it.
And you all think you can't afford it. My daughter's in Colombia. Not Columbia, South Carolina, Colombia. She's living off of $1,000 a month.
Right.
Because they're staying in little hospices, they travel around with different groups. You can afford to do it if you want to do it. If you find value in travel.
That's
Get
right.
this thing out of here before I kill myself. There's value in travel, there's value in other things besides money, man. If you die, how are you going to be remembered?
That's right.
By your money?
Right.
The way you're valued, I want to talk to you, is how you impact people's lives. That's what people remember, how you make them feel.
You know what's even crazy? Not even to cut you off. I got friends who are not famous and don't have money. And I swear to God, they seem to be the most happiest people more than my friends that have it all. Because the ones that have it all that I know are so frustrated because they go through so much, whether it's family asking them for money all the time or whether it's just dishing out a lot of money. My friends that I like, my friends that don't have money because their spirit is just so full of life and so rich. Because that's how I don't really care. Like, I love what I do, so the money don't mean nothing to me. And Jermaine Dupri actually told me this the other day. When you think about money all the time, it comes very slow. It comes very slow. Like when you put your mind on, for some reason, it's only money. When you think money, money, money all the time. And I know, because I got friends around me who complain all the time. And I say, dog, stop thinking about the money and try to do something that you really love that hard, because then it's just going to come. You're going to wake up every day wanting to go to work because you love it. You know what I mean? You're going to have people at your job that you love to work. It's just going, like for me, when I go to 106, I just love it. And it resonates on TV. It ain't about the check. It's about me being in front of my people. You know, my young people, boys and girls, each and every day. It's about letting y'all know what's going on with the culture, keeping y'all updated. And I love it. So find something that you love to do and let the money, the money go, it's going to come. But find something that you love to do at heart first and dedicate yourself to.
I can tell you're passionate about it.
Oh, come on, man. I thought the camera's right here.
Right.
Right there. You feel me? I was going to go on my mode right there.
So this brother, you working with who? Who you working with?
The National Organization Concerned Black Men.
What's happening? Talk to us.
Okay. If I can get all the young men and men to stand up first. All young men and men stand up. Okay, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, have a seat. Thank you. Because there's more of y'all in here than what people think. Okay, because the numbers really are truly, they're not telling you the real numbers. There are more black men that are graduating from high school and going to college today than there are in prison. That's the truth. There's a 10% gain on the other counterparts. They're not telling you that. They want you to see the negative first so that you can act negative. The positive is we are making gains and you are graduating from high school and you are going to college. The problem is a lot of us are not graduating from college because we don't have a lot of social systems set up to help you while you're in college. The communities are not backing our kids the way that they should be because they depend on the public school system or schools in general to grow you, and that's not the job of the public school system or any school system. It is the community's job, the parents' job, the school's job, and your own job. It's like a four-legged chair. If only one leg is doing it, then you're going to fall. So we all have to do our part to make sure that everyone is being successful. Black men are not mentoring because they're ashamed of themselves because they lack certain skills and they don't want to show their nakedness in the front of these young men. that if we get in where we fit in, there's something that we all can contribute to all these young men that you see in front of you right now. You have something to contribute because God gave you that. He gave you something that you can contribute to every person in your life. And we all have issues. I have them, you have them, we all have them. But it's okay because we're human. But we all have to show the same passion for all these young men that are coming up. And there's a social dynamic that's in place for you to feel the way that you feel. It's not by accident. It's on purpose. Black men need to work together. Until we work together, these boys are not going to work together. That's why you have gangs, that's why you have communities and all these different divisions in itself. You no longer have neighborhoods.
That's right.
You no longer have people working together. The communities in general is a common unity. That's why it's called a community.
That's right.
But if you share nothing in common, then you have a division.
That's right.
We have to be about the business of growing our young men as well as growing our young ladies. Because the numbers are also growing up on them as well. Okay? It's time for us to wake up. You have a lot of mentoring organizations that are right here in Columbia, South Carolina. You may not know about them because we always work in silos and pockets.
Right.
We have to start coming up out of our own neighborhoods and start saying what we are doing to affect this change that we want to take place. There needs to be a revolution.
That's right.
The revolution will not be televised, as the last poet used to say. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to say there's an injustice being done somewhere. It's okay because that's what the civil rights was all about. Speaking about injustice. Stop raising our daughters and loving our sons.
Right.
Raise your sons as well.
Right.
They need leadership because they need leadership from us.
Right.
All of us that are out here now, I'm preaching to the choir more than likely out here right now. But what I'm saying to you is that we all can come together to make a difference in all these young men's and our young ladies' lives. There has to be balance also. We can't just forget about one and do for the other. There needs to be a balance. Thank you.
You know, I'm going to bring you up in a second, but you brought me to something. How many dads are here with their sons? How you doing, man? Microphone. Do you kiss your son?
Yes.
Why do you think some men have a problem kissing their boys? I had an old school dude tell me, that's some gay stuff.
No.
Yeah, you don't go around kissing them boys, you turn them
No.
into homosexuals.
No.
You know some old school guys believe that. You know that, don't you? Why do you think it's not only important, but necessary to show affection to your boys?
Because I want my son to know that I love him no matter what. I remember, like I said earlier, I did the Trayvon Martin rallies here, and I did it because my son had a rock star hoodie that he would wear if it was 100 degrees outside. So I wanted him to know that, I'll stand for you because I don't want you to think that if you wear a hoodie that your life will be taken away. So the same reason why I did that rally is the same reason why I kissed my son, because I want him to know that I'm always there for him.
Isn't it something? You see other cultures kissing their kids all the time.
Right.
Italian culture,
Right.
Hispanic culture.
Right.
What is going on with us defining black malehood as always being strong, always being violent? That's what being a man is being violent. It's not being a man. Violence is a sign of weakness 9 times out of 10 because you don't have no other power.
That's right.
Unaffectionate boys turn into unaffectionate husbands, ladies. That's why these men don't know how to communicate, they don't know how to talk, they don't know how to express themselves, they don't know how to feel love.
I apologize for being in your
Because,
ear, man.
in
I
fact,
hope
the
I'm
women,
not
you
too
all
loud.
do it too. Don't be kissing my boy.
Okay.
Trust me.
What are you all doing? You all are promoting this sometimes as mothers. When I was mentoring a young man that I happened to be living with a young lady at the time, I took him to school, I kissed him at night. Kissed him, not on the lips, kissed him on the cheek.
That's
Good night.
right.
I love
right.
you.
That's right.
You know how many, not only young boys, but we're going to focus on young boys, how many of us grow up with parents that don't even tell us they love us?
Right.
I mean, I don't know what this whole old school black thing is. This non-affection, this emotional detached mentality. I love you, man. That make me weak because I tell you I love you. Make me weak if you see me cry. Men can only cry at sporting events when they win the championship.
Think about
It's the only
that.
time we get to cry, nobody call them a sissy. But trust me, when you have success in life, when you birth your child,
Right.
those kind of events, sometimes I cry just thinking about my daughter.
Right.
I get overwhelmed
Right. That's
with
right.
emotions just thinking about how much I love her.
That's right.
That's not weak, man, that's strength.
That's right.
For all you young men out there, when you have sons, kiss your sons, man. Tell them that you love them, because I'm going to tell you, we're not telling our boys that we love them.
Right.
But those gang members are telling them, hey man, love for you. I got love for you, man. I got love for you. They saying love all the time.
All the time.
Now go stick that woman up over there. We got to redefine manhood. I got a question for you. How old are you? Old school? Yeah, you're like you got an 8-track tape player. Get his brother. Like you still remember now laters.
Right.
Yeah, I'm 43. I'll be 44 this year.
I'm curious. You got sons or daughters?
I have sons and a daughter.
Perfect. Daughters? Anybody on the panel with daughters? Good, I'm going to need you all on this one. In a relationship, do you tell your sons that they're the boss and your woman, that she's supposed to submit to every man?
No.
Let me tell you what's interesting to me. Our roles as men has changed, dude.
Right.
That whole come in the house with a club, sit down and let a woman serve you a plate, that's over.
Over.
I hope you all are not preparing your son for this caveman world, because my daughter ain't serving you like that. Because if you get home first, you better have the food ready.
That's right. That's right.
And my point is, when we, young man, said you sit back there too, you think that you automatically the man of the house because you have genitals?
No, sir.
What makes you the man? Stand up. What makes you a man? How do we define manhood? What does it mean to be a man?
Be responsible.
Be responsible.
Taking care of the things you need to take care of.
Let's stop with responsibility for a second. Do you know what that word means? Break the word down. Response-able. This is our problem with our women's problem with us. When something happens, you know what turns a woman on?
Right.
When she tell a man something is wrong, his attitude is, I got it.
That's right.
I got it, baby. Go and do whatever you got to do. The kid's acting up, I got it.
I got it.
The tire's flat, I got it.
That's right.
Something didn't happen, you got a problem with the neighbor, I got it.
That's right.
Response-able. We got to teach that. And you don't get to be the man until you demonstrate you can be a man.
Right. That's
You don't
right.
get to be a man just because you have man parts.
Right.
Young ladies, don't you submit to no man who have not demonstrated that he has a capacity to be a man. He don't get to be a man just because he's a man.
Right.
See, I told you everything is relationships. Are you teaching that with the young man that you work with? Talk to me.
Hi everybody, I'm Eric Ferguson with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Greater Columbia. One of the biggest things we're talking about with manhood is mentorship. Mentorship, that word, mentor. It's taking someone under your wing, bringing them along and showing them the right way. The word of God tells us, what would it profit a man if he should gain the whole world and just lose his soul? The way I take that, I did an article with a state newspaper back in February, and the spin I put on that was, is it okay if it's just the children that we're directly responsible for, those that are in our households? If they're doing the right things, they're responsible. If we're sending them out into a society that doesn't respect diversity, doesn't respect differences, doesn't have respect for laws and life in general, and through mentorship, through the village, that's how we can get that done. I grew up with that old notion it takes a village to raise a child. You know, I remember if I did something wrong, Miss Washington, Miss Johnson, Miss Smith, I get 3 spankings before I got home to my mom. And we got to go back to that village mentality. You know, a lot of times we'll see things on the news or something and we'll say, that's a shame.
Right.
It is a shame. But the real shame is, what did we do to help prevent that?
Right.
Because everyone is made for a purpose, but a disconnect happens somewhere. What did we do to help bridge that gap during that disconnect? What did we do to help bring a child along? That's why mentorship is so important. That's why it's important that everyone gets involved, everyone cares about it. You know, we see someone wayward, someone going in the wrong direction. We try to lift them up, give them positivity. We continue to promote the positive that happens. Someone does good in school, promote that, celebrate that. Just uplift them throughout the community, everyone, and come together. We talked a lot about the organizations being separate in the community. You know, we're talking about coalitions of coming together so we can have one united village front. That's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take strong people who want to make a change in the community. It can happen. It's not a utopic value, a utopic idea. We can make it happen together. I think we should work at it.
Jaquetta been talking to me about her program so much. I'd like Jaquetta save some for the audience. Go ahead, and then we're going to take questions from you guys. In fact, I'm coming out there to take the questions next. How do I get down? Over there? I want to be out there. Go ahead, Jaquetta, talk to him.
All right. First of all, I want to thank all of the men for coming out and just showing up and showing out. with their boys, or if not their boys, someone else's son. And I am Jaquetta Chapman. I'm the founder of Mothers of Black Boys Incorporated, and we're a membership-based nonprofit organization for moms who are raising black males. You can be a teacher, you can be an auntie, you can be a grandma, godmother, whomever. We're just concerned and very passionate about uplifting and rewriting the narrative of the black male. We do it through many programs that we offer. One of our main programs is our Black Male, the Community Leaders Coalition. And what we do is we gather all of these organizations together and put together town hall meetings where we can bring men, young men, older men together to talk about and rally up together with solutions to help solve some of the issues we're experiencing in our communities with black males. Now, I bring a different twist to this panel. As you can see, I'm the only female up here. And it's not easy because I'm stepping into a man's world. But that's okay. I'm comfortable with that. I taught school for 12 years and was really concerned every day. I got children coming in my classroom dealing with issues that adults should deal with. And as a teacher, there was very little that I could say to the parents because I needed my job. I couldn't say, ma'am, you need to come to school looking like you care about your child. You don't need to show up in the classroom, in the school with bedroom slippers on, a scarf on your head, no bra. I could not say that because I needed my job. My children needed to eat. But guess what? I quit my job because I'm very passionate about what I do, and that is about uplifting the black male. So now I can say to you, Mom, you need to do better. Dad, you need to step up and show this boy how to be a man, or else the streets are going to show him how to be a man. So I have taken a huge stance on rewriting the narrative of the black male. Yes, I'm stepping into a man's world, a woman by myself. There are other women out here that can be a part of this organization to help me in this movement. This is not a Columbia-based organization. This organization is going to go global. There's going to be a Mob Inc. of Charlotte, a Mob Inc. of Atlanta, a Mob Inc. of Phoenix. It's going to be many organizations around this country where moms can come together and work together on how to raise our boys. Now, one thing I'm going to have to say this because I don't want to get it twisted. We're not an organization that tries to take the place of a man. Women, I'm sorry. My mama used to say it all the time. I'm your mama and your daddy. And I had a brother. It wasn't but a few years ago that my brother said, I needed a man in my life. Boys need men. Women, I'm sorry. You're not his father. You're providing for him. Yes, you're doing a wonderful job, but you cannot take the place of the man. We can't teach him how to take care of his family, how to be responsible when he got a million bills coming in, and yet we're asking him to do for us, to pay for us to get our hair done, to pay for us to get some shoes, to pay for us for this, pay for that. But he's got all of these bills. He's responsible for you and all of the children and himself. That is a lot for a man to do. Not to say that they can't do it, but we have to step up and support the home. We have to support him. We can't make things bad for him. And of course, and to women who have children, you're not with the father of the child. You have to allow that man to be the father because that boy needs his dad. Amen. I'm sorry. He needs it, and I hear it all the time. We partner with Columbia Police Department Operation Risk Program, and what we hear when dealing with these young men, you can say, Felder, you can attest to this. They say, well, my dad don't care about me. They have a mom. They may even have a stepdad. But stepdad still can't place the father of their biological father.
Well, let's take a survey. I'm curious as to which woman would stand up in this audience if I asked you, if a man doesn't pay you child support, you think you have a right for him not to see his kids? Please stand up. Just one of you. I'll ask the question again. Any woman in here that believes if a man doesn't give you child support, he doesn't have a right to see his kids, I want you to address that.
Right here. Right here.
Go ahead. Hit a mic, hit a mic.
I think that a man should still be able to see his
My mic's not working. Do I have to come over there? Speak right into the mic. I want to hear you, sister. Go ahead.
I feel like a man should still be able to see his child even if he don't pay child support. Me, myself, I'm a single parent, and I receive child support myself, but he don't pay all the time. But I still let him see my daughter because she loves her dad and she loves her. It ain't all about that.
Yeah, well, you agree with me. I wanted to find somebody who disagreed. That would have been real interesting. Right there. Be careful because the microphone's a little hot near the speakers. That's why I came up here. Go ahead.
My name is Tamika Allen, and what I want to say is it's not about the money. I totally agree with that, but what is your intake on fathers who don't want to be involved with their children, and you're saying, hey, keep the money, just be involved with your child. I have a 17-year-old son that turned his whole life around.
Speak up for us. Take your hand off the mic.
I have a 17-year-old son that turned his whole life around. He was going to Irma High School, and at one point he got in trouble. He went back to school. He got his life together and graduated. He's now 17 years old and in college, in his second year of college. And you have a father that just had a bunch of children and just doesn't want to be involved. What do you do with that?
That's the whole point of why these organizations exist. We're here to fill in the gaps. I mentor most of the boys in my class. I didn't find out until yesterday, half of them have their fathers at home. But guess what? They still have the same need for mentors as the kids who don't, because the fathers sometimes are not effective. Just because they're in the household doesn't make them effective. You got some dads just come home, sit down, they don't talk to the kids, they don't engage the kids. So it's not just about a man being it. And then what you have to emphasize to your son, and you guys can address this if you want, now he's got to understand not to be that man. There's got to be a constant reinforcement. Hey son, don't be this guy. You got to start these kids mentoring in high school to start mentoring middle school kids. They got to learn that at a young age. Oh, we can't keep going. We got more questions. Go ahead, guys. Anybody back here? Go ahead. Question up there.
Hey, Kevin Raspberry, do you want to speak on this?
Of course. From our perspective at Garden City Prep, I'm often asked why we look to try to have a school where it was only single gender. And to me, that was one of the most ludicrous questions ever, because almost all of the data and all of the mentees that we have, but it is us being involved. And what we did was we want to partner with these districts that's out here, but we wanted to take that further. And our foundation of the school is mentorship.
I don't even know what they're talking about.
We mentor every single day outside of school. We go to the houses and make sure they're okay. I make sure all of these boys eat. Oh, yeah. I make sure that they're dressed properly. I happen to have on a t-shirt today just because I'm at this expo. But I'm always in a shirt and a bow tie. And so that is critical when we're talking to them, when we're trying to engage them and get them to understand what life really is about. So when we reach out, we also mentor outside of the school. You know, outside of Garden City Prep. Whether you're in District 1, you're in District 5 in Orangeburg, whether you're in Rock Hill, we travel. We call every day, and we make sure they're okay. So when we talk to those mothers, and when I go to those houses in Michael Baisden, and when I see the father in the house, I ask him, can I have a conversation with him after I do the mentorship, because I'm trying to figure out why I'm putting so much time in your son, and you sitting your behind in this house, and you're not doing anything. I have an issue. That is what we're doing. We're doing proactive work.
We have some insight from one of our coaches.
Go ahead.
I also coach.
Right, put the mic right up to your mouth. There we go.
I also coach Orangeburg Express in Orangeburg and Flagstaff. I'm also working with District 5 in the elementary.
We can't get in. When we attempt to talk about our treatment programs for STDs, we can't have that conversation. So I would like to just, in the thoughts of probably making some folks feel uncomfortable, is to ask the question, when we're talking about young black men, are we just talking about heterosexual black men? Or are we talking about all black men?
All.
Young black men who are straight, young black men who are gay, young black men who are transgender, We have young men who have been kicked out of their families. They have been dissociated and disconnected. They are out here on their own, trying to figure out how to eat because we've cast them aside. So I just want to make sure that as we have dialogue, that we're not censoring a group and acting as if they don't exist, because they're going to pay the price.
Hey, Doc, don't sit down. Don't sit down. I got two things. Hey, I want you to stay here for this real quick. Just give me 1 second. Two things. We had this conversation. The teacher who is in the classroom with the young men we mentored is a gay black male. And when he came there, you know, he had young men were like, well, he seemed to have some tendencies. Is he gay? And the teacher didn't want to talk about it. I said, look, man, we are not going to ignore the fact that you're gay with these 15-year-old young men. We had a conversation about it. The teacher broke down and started talking about all the hate that he had experienced being gay. And the young men, after he explained his lifestyle to them, they were like, cool, and now this guy is a very important part of the program. The reason why this is a problem is because black people are the most homophobic people in the world, next to Caribbean people. And I don't know what our issue is with sexuality when you know a lot of folks in your church are gay. You know you got gay relatives. What does their lifestyle have to do with you? And whatever your judgment is based on your religion, it's just your judgment. Don't pass that and transfer that on to somebody else. If somebody gay had a heart that they wanted to transplant to your son or daughter, would you let them do it? If somebody gay wanted to give you a job, would you take it? If somebody gay wanted to loan you money, invest in your business, would you take it? So it seems to me, if somebody you on the side of the road, somebody gay pulled over and wanted to help you fix your flat, would you let them? So it seems to me that your homophobia is at your convenience. But if you need them, all of a sudden it becomes appropriate. Last but not least, the conversation about sex. Parents, you all are wrong for not talking to these kids about sex. This whole idea of abstinence and tell these kids just say no is the most naive, immature, and retarded thing. No offense to retarded, but I mean in the real sense of what retarded means, arrested development. I've been talking to my daughter about her sexuality since she started talking about her body parts. Inappropriate touching. My daughter called me when she had her period. This is a very normal function. These things should not be hidden. They're normal. When my daughter had sex for the first time, she told me 2 weeks after she told her mother, because we have that kind of relationship.
But in defense of parents, let me just say that you can't teach what you have not been taught.
How about that?
So I would suggest that as we have a Bible in the house, we should go seek. They say we perish for lack of knowledge. What that means is to me, to someone who's seen the results of our silence, is to say, go to the bookstore, investigate a text, and look at having a house, because in South Carolina, I don't know what they do in Chicago, but in this state, the law says that in the classroom, they are not permitted to discuss homosexuality.
Wow.
They are not permitted to discuss any form of sexual orientation other than heterosexuality. So what that means is that we must do it as a black family. We must get that book. We must sit down. We must be askable people so that they are not out in the street talking to strangers who will give them the information that they want them to have.
Young people, how many of you all parents have never had a real conversation with you about sex? I know they sit next to you. Raise your hand. If your parents have never had a real conversation with you about sex, I'm talking. See, Mama, you're wrong. Your son's sitting right here.
Hey, Mike,
Go ahead.
I want to say something on behalf of school systems. I see Bambi's position, but as I said before, the average student only spends 10% of their year in the school system. It is the responsibility of the community to have these conversations. You just said it. If you're not having these conversations about sex in your own homes, then you can't depend on the schools to do all the work. We cannot raise your children. It is your opportunity to share in the responsibility, and what we have to stop doing is running from accountability. I'm just standing here to tell you that we are doing the best we can to fill every gap. When a child comes back to us after being with y'all for 90 days through the summer, we got to push reset and gain ground all over again. When we give them away back to people on Friday, what are we getting back on Monday? A new product all over again. So we're constantly shaping and molding. What I'm saying to you as the chairman of Richland One is that, listen, stand up, be accounted for, do what you can, because you can't depend on the city of Columbia to do it, you can't depend on Richland County to do it, you can't depend on the school district to do it, you got to do it, period, point blank.
And Aaron, can I interject real quick? And no child should be made to feel bad because their parent is not there. Yes, don't make the child feel bad because you're not there.
We can't continue to fight, y'all. We got to be on one accord. As I see my mayor over here, Mayor Benjamin, me and Mayor Benjamin have made a promise to work together. Because here's the principle I want to leave with everybody. When two elephants fight, it is the grass that gets destroyed.
Point, let me get this question.
Mike, thanks for allowing me to have this opportunity. Something the pastor said earlier. First of all, my name is Kurt Thomas, and I'm from Manning, South Carolina, also now reside in Orangeburg. Something the pastor said earlier about responsibility, along with yourself, Mike, and Mr. Bow Wow. Responsibility. I'm a state trooper for this state, South Carolina Highway Patrol, been one for 6 going on 7 years. I get a chance to do the background investigations for anyone who wants to be a state trooper for their state. What we have an issue with is when young men try to apply for state level jobs. I have the job to go to the high school, the middle school to find out how they were in high school. The main issue that we have now, the point it is responsibility. Why are they making decisions that they're making in those grade schools? So I took my thoughts and put them into words, and also wrote a book to help, because as you stated earlier, it's not enough for me to have this knowledge if I don't pass it around or share it. So I wrote a book to help kids, not only in college and high school, but from high school and middle school, to teach them about responsibility. It's not enough to get all the millions of dollars that you said earlier and not learn how to be responsible for it. And I would like to do is, my comment was, well, like I said, my question was, if someone like me wants to get the issue of responsibility out, how can I do that besides meeting, as you said earlier, the two people trying to help each other, one person trying to tell the other?
All right, I only want to hear from young people from now on. Anybody want to answer that? We got to start hearing from some of these young people. What's up, man? How you doing? Stand up for a second. You got one? How old are you?
I'm 16.
Tell me what's going on. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "We must unite or perish together as fools." I think when you create separation,
turn him up.
Not only by new laws, but when you separate people, along the way, knowledge gets lost. And when someone is not cognizant of what is really going on, I think this is what you come to. And then when you make someone feel weaker than what they really are. Look, why do you think they wanted to keep schools segregated? So they would not be cognizant of the same information, or they would have the same opportunity. We must, when we create titles such as gay, Christian, Judy, Muslim, whatever, everyone deserves the same right, regardless of religion, race. When it comes down to the law, they're all the same. We must unite. I also want to ask you, how do you think in the poorest county in the poorest state, Mississippi, I saw something on the news this morning where they talk about public schools.
I can't hear you too well. Why is this mic so dead? And what is that beat? Right, I mean, that's all I'm hearing is Is there a concert going on? Okay.
But I saw something on the news this morning about in the poorest county, in the poorest state, which is in Mississippi, the public schools are made up of 95% African Americans and black people, while the private schools were made up of, well, I don't know the exact statistic, but predominantly white. How do you think education, when you talk about public and private schools, has such a major effect on the black young
It's the same reason you have private prisons now. That's what they're trying to do with the school system. The same thing they're doing with the prison system is exactly what they're trying to do with the school system. With no accountability, they'll be able to kick your kids out. This thing is big. You already know about private prisons. We don't need to talk about that with you. You all know about private prisons, right?
Yeah.
You all know your tax dollars are subsidizing private prisons, that they actually having our men work in prisons, paying them pennies on the dollar, and locking them up left and right. They're building prisons left and right. I mean, this is the new business that we're in now.
Right.
To young people only. Young people only. Go ahead.
I'm Aaron Thomas.
Aaron, come up here a little bit away from the speaker.
I'm Aaron Thomas. I'm a former student body president of my college and a member of the African American Member.
I wasn't always so productive. I was one of the ones we were talking about that was lost, and my parents split up when I was in high school. And last week I just recently graduated from college, so I made that turnaround and trying to do the right thing. I'm just wondering, how can we let our young people know that there is hope for the future, and how important it is to get a 2-year degree in a trade school, or at least something, some paper, because a lot of them don't have hope. They don't feel like, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it that far. So how can we make the connection in middle school and in early high school that they can go to college?
How old are you again? 18. See, these guys have got to be taught to mentor. Our boys in our class from 15 years old are already mentoring the middle school kids. Because, I mean, who can relate better to a 9 and 10-year-old than an 18-year-old? They're listening to the same music, they're watching the same programs. See, everybody's looking for somebody else. It's you. I mean, the president said it best, you're the change that we've been waiting on. I had to take that same challenge. I had to stop waiting on somebody else to do it. Who's going to step up for Gina Six? Who's going to step up for Trayvon? Who's going to... You.
Right.
You the answer, man. It only takes one leader to change a whole country, man. Look at the impact the president had. Look at the impact Martin Luther King had. You all have got to start being that guy. And stop waiting on that. Let me tell you something. So I got good news and bad news. What you want first?
Bad news.
Bad news is, man, all y'all not going to get no mentor.
Right.
Let's keep it real. All these men are not going to step up and do the right thing. And half of them that step up are not going to be consistent. That's the reality of mentors. And everybody up there who has mentors know that you can beat 100 guys, and by the time you get through weeding through them, only 5 of that 100 are going to be mentors that's going to be consistent.
That's right.
That's the bad news. You know what the good news is? The library's open, dude.
Right.
All you got to do is read, man. If your leaders don't exist, you got to read about the leaders that did exist. That's how I got here. Malcolm brought me here, reading his biography, reading all these books, because that is the key. Why do you think so many of us, what they say, the best way to keep a secret away from black folks, put it in the book? We don't read. The library is wide open. You got these young girls in Nigeria who got kidnapped while they were in school. They can't even go to school without worrying about getting killed, and you all got schools and libraries you won't even go into for free. You got Google.
Right.
Dude, if I ask you a question in 5 minutes, when I come back 5 minutes later, you can have an answer.
That's right.
What excuse do you all have as young people? You got all the information in the world at your fingertip and you're not using it.
Right.
If I ask you right now, what do you want to be? What you going to tell me? Pharmacist. That's a good answer. You? Cardiologist. I like it. Who did what? Athletic trainer. Athletic trainer. That's a great business. Pays a lot of money. Now you got to make sure you do everything that's consistent with making that happen. Stop waiting on these dudes, man. I'm going to tell you, all the old heads, don't take this personal. Don't wait on us.
That's right.
We're going to let you down 9 times out of 10. That's just a simple statistical fact. You got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
And we got to empower these young men to do this, because we are not going, all of us are not going to step up and stay stepped up. You be the change you want to see. Stop waiting on leaders to happen and be the leader, man.
Mike, if I may, the mayor endorsed a program that we got. It's called the RISK program. It's a reality-based program. It's not a scare straight program, but it's a reality-based program that shows these children what could happen to them if they get incarcerated. We partnered with our mothers of black boys. We would love to have more of these mentors come out. What we did was spark my interest just now, you said, about training mentors. I'm going. I ain't coming. I'm going. I'm 51 years old. I'm going. I'm not coming. But what we're doing in this program, the RISK program, is we get 2 or 3 people that graduate from the program and come back to the next program and talk to these kids. We have one once a month, and we get 2 kids to come back and tell them how the RISK program has changed their life. And that's what we got to do. We got to training mentors. Most of us old school, we're going, we're not coming. And that, I think that is the biggest problem for us. We're not training anyone. You know, I'm fortunate. I had a mother and father in the house, but a lot of us don't have that. So we got to start training mentors while they're small. Not when they get big and think we know everything, because we don't.
Right.
Go ahead, Bow Wow.
We was just sitting there, you should grab the mic, we both should talk about this. We was just sitting there talking about something that we didn't hear, and that's health. You know, the importance of health. And I was just sitting here while he was talking, I was like, this is my era, these is my people, so I understand what the problem is as well. We lazy. You know what I'm saying? We lazy. We got Instagram, and I know everybody's on Instagram. You can get caught up on there. We got Twitter, and what's happening is when you sit on there for them hours, that's hours out of the day you could have been outside being active. You sitting in the house, you eating, you're not doing that. Then you wonder why, you know, when it comes to Mela, our race, why we're the dominant figure as far as diabetes is concerned, why our health, why we always have to be the poster boys for bad health. Like, once again, but that was something I wasn't hearing enough of as far as the importance of being active, being fit, getting out, so we make sure that we live a healthy and long life so we can see our kids grow up. You understand me? So I know that was something we was talking about. So.
No, and that goes back to something Dr. Gaddis was saying. You know, certainly
how important this event right here is. Everybody up here took the time to come out here for you. And like you said, we need them. So in return, all we ask is that you guys take the knowledge that we gave y'all information and use the information. You know what I mean? So in that way, we feel good about what we do. Right. Like you said, our job is to come up here and give y'all the game and give y'all the knowledge. Now it's up to y'all to soak it in. When y'all leave this arena, to go out in your communities and remember all the things that we said, use it as a tool. And I think as long as you guys do that and stay focused, like I said, y'all can change the world. Like when I was with Diddy, he was speaking to the youth. He said, do you guys understand how powerful y'all are? And I don't think a lot of people understand that, but you do have it. And you too can change. But it all starts today. It starts in the classroom. It starts with listening to your mom, your pops, your grandmama, whoever it is that's feeding you and taking care of you. Listen to that game. Ask questions too. Don't be afraid to ask questions. To this day, I'm still asking questions. Sometimes I still find myself being lost. You know, my father walked out on me. You know what I mean? But that didn't stop me from still asking questions and wanting to be the better man for my daughter. Because I'm raising a daughter too in the same era that we all raising our children in. So I know how important it is too. But that's all I ask. That's my closest solution to argument is use everything that we gave y'all today. Because this event happens once a year. And we do need more of this going on. It shouldn't have to take one time a year for us to gather around for these type of things and for these type of events. So what I want everybody to do with that information and use it. That's what I want.
You all notice, give him a hand first of all. You all notice I wanted him to close? Because that's our job, to uplift the younger guys. Old dudes, stop being intimidated by these young men.
That's right.
These are soldiers, man.
That's right. That's right.
We got too many insecure older brothers worried about the young guy getting. That's our job to make sure they get on the map. It's my job to uplift these younger guys, man.
That's right.
Make it your mission. And you know you got to love people to work with us. We ain't easy.
Right.
Oh, we ain't easy. You have to love black people to serve black people, man.
That's right.
We're hard. But man, once we get it, there's no stronger love, man, in our community. I know you got something for the family. Come on out.
Let's all give it up for Black Wow and Michael Baisden for coming. We want to give it up for our panel. Let's give it up for our participants. Let's give it up for all of the people that's in the audience.
Yeah, land love to the guys who came out, man.
All right, so up next in closing, we all wondering what's next? What can we do? What can we give back to our community? How can we get started? And no other better 2 men I can think of for bringing up our mayors. Mayor Steve Benjamin, bringing up Darren Thomas, the president of Thomas Media Group.
Good to see you again, man. How you doing?
Thank you. I just want to thank each and every one of you for taking the leadership to be here today. Thank Brother Baisden, Brother Bauer, Brother Moss, and Darren, and this entire group of talented leaders that we have that we're working together with to build Columbia. Our job, my job, our job is to make sure that we build a city where every single child has an opportunity to live up to his or her God-given potential. Every child. I will tell you, I don't worry much about the Benjamin girls. My girls are going to be all right. Daddy has his priorities going. I'm a child of God. I'm a husband, a father. Everything else comes after that. I'm going to make sure that my babies are all right. But it doesn't stop there. My responsibility extends to your children as well. Your responsibility extends to my children. It's something we all have to make sure that we're doing together. And this is a start. This is a dialogue, Pastor, that we're working together on to try and create the center of excellence for black male achievement. Our children are talented. Our children are gifted. Our children can do anything they want to do here. But it starts with us leading them and showing them the way. They can't find the way on their own. But young people, I will tell you, it starts with you. Our job is to make sure that we give you a path. It's your job. If you take nothing else away from what everyone has said to you here this morning, this afternoon, is to understand that inside of you, you have a very special gift. You have an individual power. Whatever your talent is, God has given you something very special. Once we help show you the way, it's your job to use that gift to help change your life and help change the world around you. But we're here, we're going to do this together. I want to thank all of you for showing the leadership, for being here, being active, being engaged, challenging each other, and let's figure out how we're going to try and create this great city together. May God bless you and keep you.